Whoa, okay. What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to The Casual Nerd. I have a coffee, and I have a Snapple. I have my free will, and I have my abundance of personality. Today, let's get into the many news topics that we're going to be talking about, which are 6 news topics. 6! I couldn't just stick to 5 like I normally do. I had to go with 1 extra. If you can hear our friend Heater Henry is in the background, but it's good. It's like white noise whenever I sleep, so for me it's no problem, but for you guys I worry. So let's go into it. I'm excited. We're gonna start off with something very interesting. Grand Theft Auto RP server No Pixel bans popular Twitch streamer XQC. You guys have heard about him? You guys know about him. I know about him. He was one of the first Twitch streamers I actually ever followed before I saw a lot of his drama, and I was just like, nope. Twitch streamer Felix XQC is no stranger to getting chastised or even banned for his behavior online. Since 2019, the former professional Overwatch player has been temporarily removed from Twitch or other platforms 4 times, the most recent being a DMCA Twitter suspension for a 10-second clip XQC had posted of a live stream over a year prior. While that suspension might be for a tame reason, the streamer has been banned from Twitch in the past for stream sniping during a Fall Guys Twitch Rivals event, showing nudity on his channel while playing an adult-rated video game called Strip 4 Classmates Study, and for watching a YouTube video during his stream called Safe for Work Porn that turned out to be not so safe for work. This doesn't surprise me. I mean, like, the main reason why I used to watch this guy was because of Overwatch, or because I was trying to up my game in Overwatch. Little did I know this guy would be the biggest issue on the platform besides Bad Bunny. Listen, I really never go into this kind of stuff because I don't want to have the drama that comes with it, because we all know about drama. We don't like her, okay? But the thing is that XQC, yeah, he's done some okay. I've forgotten about him long ago, but this came up in my feed on Twitter, and I'm just like, okay, this will give me the ability to cover also Bad Bunny, because the fact of the matter is that I don't even know if she's still on the platform. She made me look like an idiot in her chat. I was pointing out different things from politics. She's a political streamer. I was pointing out different things, even agreeing with her in certain topics, and she actually pulled up a conversation, like the stream conversation and everything like that, and just pointed out that I'm an idiot, that I'm this, that I'm that. And I'm paraphrasing right now, but I remember the scenario in which it happened, because someone was attention seeking from her. She told that person to go kill themselves. Not the kind of streamer you'll want on your platform, is that? Twitch and Amazon, because Amazon owns Twitch. It shocks me to no end. It really does, because it's one of the reasons why I left Twitch. Lack of accountability, lack of being able to trust the damn website. Like, there's just harassment problems. There's a lot of problems with the Twitch platform in general. So when I see this kind of stuff, and when I see really bad people not being removed from said platform, it worries me. It's good that XQC was removed from the platform. Maybe that's the start of things, but it's not good that a lot of streamers who have done negligent behavior, such as Bad Bunny, are actually, I can just do a quick old search myself. Nope, she's still there. Twitch, what are you doing? I know she's been banned a couple of times, and she's one of the most problematic streamers I've ever seen. But yeah, let's go on to the next topic, because I'm gonna go on a rant if I continue any further. So I don't want to be looking forward to this and then getting my heart ripped out of my chest. I just don't want this to happen. Apparently, it states here that a report on multiple Silent Hill reboots could be in development. Why do you have to lure me in like this? Multiple Silent Hill reboots. Multiple. Not just one. Multiple. Now, it states here in the article, the Silent Hill series could be making a major comeback if a recent report by Video Games Chronicle VGC is to be believed. According to the outlet, prominent Japanese developer is currently handling an upcoming reboot of the series, expected to be revealed this summer, and Konami, the series publisher, has approached non-Japanese studio about making a new Silent Hill game. According to VGC sources, Konami has outsourced one future Silent Hill game to a fellow Japanese company, while there's no specific details on the upcoming project. According to the people VGC spoke to, it's currently planned to be a departure from the long-running survival horror series. How and in what ways is unknown right now. Back in March 2020, reports began to surface that Konami was working with SIE Japan Studio in Silent Hill Reboot, bringing on board the series director Kiichiro Toyama, art director Masahiro Ito, and composer Akira Yamaoka. Later that month, Konami called the reports untrue. Toyama is currently developing a new survival horror game for his new independent studio, Boca Games Studio, expected to be released in 2023. Earlier this week, concept art was shown off for the first time. It's not the only possible Silent Hill reboot on the horizon. According to two sources, VGC spoke to Konami approached developer Supermassive Games, developer of Until Dawn and Dark Pictures Anthology, to pitch its own take on the series. However, no deal was signed between the two parties. The current rumor mill isn't done speculating that non-Japanese studios could be working on a new Silent Hill, though. On Thursday, the Blobber Team CEO told GamesIndustry.biz that the studio is currently developing a new horror IP with a very famous gaming publisher. Blobber Team's recent work includes Layers of Fear, The Blair Witch, and most recently the Xbox Series XS exclusive, The Medium. The fact that Konami has outsourced one future Silent Hill game to a fellow Japanese company, that has me a little hopeful. Tiny little bit, because Konami, the fact that they kind of made the first move, is really interesting to see. It's kind of like they're grasping at straws here, trying to be like, where did everybody go? Oh, you lied to us, and you turned Silent Hill into a pachinko. That's where we go. We go away from that. So the next article is going to be really good for a lot of you guys who are a fan of Diablo, because it states that Diablo 2 Resurrected remasters Blizzard RPG Classic on PC and consoles. It also continues on in the header that Blizzard's 2000 Classic Dungeon Crawler is coming back with crossplay. Here's the latest trailer and screenshot showing the return of Diablo 2. We're not viewing a trailer, like I said in the last Casual Nerd episode. If you don't see a trailer here, it's because there's a lot that we're going to be talking about. That's why. So, I don't want to hear it. Now, it states here in the article, rumors are true. Blizzard is developing a remaster of its classic PC game, Diablo 2, and it's called Diablo 2 Resurrected. Blizzard describes it as the definitive remastering of the game, along with its Lord Destruction expansion. That sounds adorable. Lord Destruction expansion. Oh, it's so cute. I just want to pat it on the head. The fact that a remaster exists is a surprise, given that the original files were said to be actually lost by the original creators. Way to go. But indeed, it is happening, and it's on the way to PC and console. Resurrected launches in 2021 and will be released PC, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Nintendo Switch with crossplay between platforms. Additionally, progression can move between platforms. As rumored, the game is being developed by Tony Hawk's studio Vicarious Visions, which was recently folded into Blizzard Entertainment. Fun fact, I actually applied for a video editing position at Vicarious Visions. I never heard back. The fact that it says in that article, I thought I lost the game file. How do you lose a game file? How do you lose all of your assets? How? So this next article I'm really, really happy about to see how VR is progressing, because Jim Ryan states that we're making a completely new VR format for PS5. So be sure to get those wallets out, because you're going to be really breaking your bank. I am going to bet you money, I'm putting money down on this, that it's not going to cost less than almost $200 for a VR set plus the PlayStation. Because the PlayStation 5 is what, with tax over $520. Add the VR system to that, you're looking at an $800, almost $1,000 purchase. And it states here in the article, so when we got offered 20 minutes with PlayStation's boss out of the blue last week, it did seem a bit too easygoing to be true. A follow-up to PlayStation VR, confirmed with dev kits out in the wild, an easy single-cord setup, more free games for those stuck at home during the pandemic. Yep, Play at Home is back, starting with 2016's Ratchet & Clank and the 3-month trial to anime subscription service Funimation, with some cool stuff with indie games to follow. What about PlayStation games on PC? A whole slate of them is on the way, starting with Days Gone in the spring. And for Sony's publishing timeline for the year, well, COVID has been up to no good again and booted up the Gran Turismo 7 back to 2022. Don't worry, plans for Uncharted, Move, and The Last of Us TV series are very much on track. I think is going to happen is that there is going to be a major influx of games coming to PC this year. My two main predictions, The Last of Us Part 1 and Bloodborne. Because The Last of Us Part 1, it's an older game now. So is Bloodborne. So they're more going to be eager to put those on the PC in hopes that people will get a PlayStation. See where I'm going? We're doing this. We're on Article 5, okay? We got this. So next up in gaming news, Sony reportedly censors violent depictions in games. I'm out. Are you kidding? Are really can't with people's stupidity. I'm sorry, but why is this, okay, let's just read the article and then we'll discuss. So it states here in the article, Sony is censoring violent depictions in video games. According to a recent report, the degree of violence in video games has been a controversial aspect for quite a while now. It's often debated that games should have lower degrees of violence to make them accessible to a larger audience. This is why we have ratings. This is exactly why we have ratings. Rated PG-13, rated M for mature, rated toddler, rated something. We have ratings. According to a report, GameSpark Japan via Resta Era user I like feet. He is asking developers to remove violent depictions in video games. This comes from the Japanese development studio CyberConnect 2's president and CEO Horiyoshi Matsuyama, who states that one of the characters in the game, Manito Namikaze, was missing an arm in the original story. However, in the final game, his arm was present to comply with Sony's policies. He further mentions that the reason for that was that the loss of limbs in characters that have a human appearance was not allowed by Sony Interactive. CERO is the organization responsible for the video game ratings in Japan. In the story, Minato is not technically a human considering that he was resurrected. However, considering that the character had a human appearance, it was not allowed. Quite noted of all the fact that SIE has allowed such depictions in certain video games, Matsuyama mentions that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has a scene in which Nappa's arm was dismembered. Surprisingly, this wasn't omitted from the game because there is a difference in impressions in two games, but it's likely that Naruto series has more realistic tone rather than whether the policy is specific to the Japanese video game isn't clear. Sony's stance on the matter is quite surprising considering the fact that some of the game has set a benchmark for mature tones in video games. For instance, The Last of Us Part 2 had several and such brutal and gory moments, while despite receiving some criticism was widely acclaimed as well. With Sony itself taking such a bold direction in video games itself, it'll be interesting to see what Sony's justification for such a stance is. And I just say right now they're losing on a market. Like, the reason for violence in video games, and I'm not justifying the violence, I'm justifying the reason behind the violence. There's a big difference here. Talk about violence in video games, it's because we're talking about a story that kind of incurs said violence. We're not talking about the fact of violence for violence sake. The characters like in The Last of Us with Joel getting his head beaten, I don't care if it's a spoiler, okay, you had enough time to play it, shush. When we see that type of imagery, when we see the fact that there are so many different types of gore and blood depictions, we get kind of desensitized to it over time because we're so used to it. And maybe that's the bad part, the desensitization, not the actual violent acts itself. Because it's a video game, it's a storyline, something that we would never dream of living out, like a post-apocalyptic world of Metro 2033 or Harry Potter, which we could never experience. A lot of this stuff isn't real. It's a story that's made up. So the fact of the matter is that if Sony wants to become the next Nintendo, that's great, but they're going to lose out on a majority of their audience. And lastly, in gaming news, we are going to be going over some news for Bloodlines 2 Vampire the Masquerade. Stay tuned in the article that Paradox Interactive released its 2020 year-end report today, which the company reveals that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has been delayed out of 2021 and is no longer being developed by Heartzoot Labs. This follows the removal of lead narrative design Brian Matsuda and creative director Kai Clooney this past August in another setback to the follow-up of the cult classic RPG. Paradox states that the collaboration with the new studio's partner has been made to finish work on the game, although no other details are given otherwise. While Paradox as a whole reported increased profits and revenue year over year, the pandemic has negatively affected some games in the development in addition to the struggles that Bloodlines 2 already appeared to be facing. The full report can be found on Paradox's website and shared portions of the relevant Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 below in the article. Now, I'm not surprised. The pandemic has always been a mess for game companies. Some pulled out a lot faster and a lot more successful than others, but with this, it's just a shame because Heartzoot Labs isn't going to be working on this, so I'm eager to see who is going to be taking place and taking the project over and working on this, because this is a game that needs to be brought out, because the first game for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1 was incredible. And you guys, as always, all the links to all the articles that I talked about today will be in the description box below for your viewing pleasure. And if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell down below, because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I stream on Saturdays and Sundays. We got through a lot today. We made it. We conquered, okay? But stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.